All right, today we're going to break down something that every single software engineer needs to know: the hidden legal red lines you might be crossing in your everyday work. This is all about how you can innovate more safely and, frankly, with a lot more confidence.
Okay, so to really get this, we need to understand two completely different worlds. First, you've got the engineer's mindset, right? It's all about moving fast, trying new things, breaking stuff, and sharing what you learn. It's a culture of, hey, let's just build it and see what happens. But then you've got the legal mindset. That world is all about boundaries, proof, and who owns what. It's about figuring out the rules before you make a move.
And this is where things get really interesting and a little bit dangerous. That natural friction between the move fast engineering culture and the careful, deliberate world of law, that's where the risk is. It's where totally normal, everyday actions can suddenly have huge legal consequences, and you might not even see it coming.
So let's get right into it. We're going to look at the three biggest hidden red lines, the most common ways engineers find themselves in hot water without even realizing it. And these aren't some weird, obscure situations. This stuff happens all the time.
The first red line, it almost always starts with a thought just like this. You've got this awesome idea, you grab a teammate, you hit the whiteboard, and just start sketching it out. I mean, that feels like the very heart of innovation, doesn't it? But legally, it can be a whole lot more than just a chat. And here's the kicker. In the eyes of the law, all of these things, that whiteboard session, a presentation at a local meetup, even showing off a quick prototype, can be considered a public disclosure. Now, that's a formal legal term, and it has serious consequences. It can totally mess up your company's ability to file for a patent, and it can weaken its most valuable trade secrets. Okay, on to red line number 2. And this one starts with a phrase that sounds so innocent, so reasonable, but it is incredibly dangerous in a lawsuit. I'm just copying my own code. I mean, you wrote it, right? So it feels like it's yours. But when you work for a company, the legal reality is, well, it's very different. Think about it. Emailing a file to your personal Gmail, dropping something on a USB drive just to work on it at home, it seems harmless, right? Just for convenience. But every one of those actions creates a digital trail. And in a legal fight, that's not seen as convenience. It's seen as data exfiltration. It's evidence that you moved company property outside the firewall.
And that brings us to our third and final red line. This one usually pops up when you're thinking about leaving your job for a new opportunity. You've learned so much, you've gotten so much better at what you do, and that knowledge feels like it's a part of you. It's your skill, your know-how. But here's where you've got to be really careful. The law draws a super sharp line in the sand. There's the general skill you've learned, your know-how, and then there's the specific confidential information and code you worked on for your employer. Those are two different things. Assuming your cool side project is totally separate is a huge gamble, especially if you ever touched it on a company laptop. And taking files, even if you made them from scratch, that's a definite no-go. Okay, I know this can all sound a little theoretical, so let's make it real. Let's look at a couple of case studies to see how these small, everyday actions can blow up into massive legal headaches. So picture this. A super passionate engineer is at an academic conference. They're excited about their work, so they demo an early prototype. Well, guess what? That demo is a public disclosure. In the US, that action starts a 1-year ticking clock to file a patent. In other parts of the world, they might have just forfeited their patent rights completely. An act of pure passion just put a multi-million-dollar asset at risk. And here's another one, red line number 2 in action. An engineer is on their last day getting ready to start a cool new job. They shoot a quick email to their personal account with a technical doc, maybe just to have a sample of their work for their portfolio. But that doc contains the company's entire product roadmap. That one email becomes Exhibit A in a massive trade secret lawsuit. And in court, your motive, oh, it was just for my portfolio, often doesn't matter. The act of moving the data is what counts. So, after hearing all that, you might be feeling a little paranoid, but don't be. The good news is you can totally protect yourself. It just takes a few simple, clear habits. So let's build your personal playbook, your guide to staying safe. This is basically your core survival guide. Super simple. Just a list of do's and don'ts. And you'll notice a pattern here. It's all about one thing: separation. Create clean lines between your personal and your professional life. Do keep text records of what you accomplished. Don't email the actual files to yourself. Do use separate devices. It's really that straightforward. Now, for your code specifically, think of these as 4 powerful habits that'll build a solid wall between your work and your employer's stuff. 1. Describe what you did in your portfolio, but don't show the raw proprietary code. 2. Keep your side projects completely separate. That means your own computer, your own time. 3. Always, and I mean always, check the license on open source code before you use it. And 4. Document what you learned, the process, not the actual company data you learned it from.
Okay, I get it. All these rules, it can feel like a bunch of red tape designed to slow you down, right? But I want you to completely reframe how you think about this, because the real goal here isn't what you think it is. This right here, this is probably the single most common and most dangerous myth that engineers believe. It's this idea that what feels like common sense or common knowledge in the tech world is the same thing as what's considered public domain in the legal world. Yeah, that assumption is just almost never true. A specific way your team combines a bunch of open source tools, a unique process you've all developed, that might feel like common sense to you, but to the company, that's their secret sauce. That can absolutely be a legally protected and incredibly valuable trade secret.
So look, the whole point of this isn't to put you in a cage. It's the exact opposite. It's about building a safe playground for you to innovate in. When you know exactly where the lines are, you can move faster, you can be more creative, and you can operate with way more confidence inside those boundaries. Clear lines give you more freedom, not less.
Because when you know the rules of the game, you are empowered. You can build, you can share, and you can grow your career without ever having to worry about stepping on a legal landmine. So think about it. What's one simple habit you can start today to better protect yourself and your innovation? Thanks for watching.